And this is Bowling Beyond 200, and you're listening to our roundtable discussion.
Yes, hello everyone. It's Richie Sposato from Lane Number One Bowling.
Hey, my name's Jack Hart. I'm a once-a-week bowler. I have a lot of experience manufacturing bowling balls, but that was back in the late 80s, and I'm very interested in hoping everything gets better for USBC and the bowlers.
Yep, we've got Rex Byron here, inventor, president, and manufacturer of Eileen's Bowling Buddies.
My name's Bobby Nelson. I'm out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been bowling pretty much my whole life, managing centers. I have a pro shop, Western Touch Pro Shop. I also represent Vice Active Sportswear out of Italy. And I also do a little part-time mechanics up at Boulder Bowl. And I love the game, and I hope we can get this back on track, guys.
And we're talking about PBA and some of the lane conditions and some of the stuff that needs to be done, or we in our opinion, can be done to promote the sport a little better. Okay, we were talking about the PBA and what can be done to increase, people moving up to PBA. That's the pinnacle of our sport, is to get to the PBA. I think you agree with me on that, because I know I wanted to be on a PBA. I know, Bobby, you went out there. But that was a pinnacle, to get from a league bowler to a PBA member. That's what we all were striving for.
And I think they have to make an easier transition from league bowlers to PBA. Okay, a lot of times you get to be, the top bowler in your league, and, these guys that are bowling in your league say, Jesus, how come we don't go on tour? I'd sponsor you, da-da-da. And then you say, well, geez, if I go on tour, I'm, can't break 200 or whatever.
Or have a job, or have kids, or, you got other issues in life that you need to deal with. It's really hard to go out there. And you know what? There's a lot of talent out there. There's some guys that, they'd probably be whooping some ass out there if they had a chance to even go out there.
Oh, sure. There's, the amateurs, I'd say there's a lot more better bowlers as amateurs than there are professionals out there.
Yep.
The professionals are only good on those conditions. You put them on different conditions or regular conditions or whatever, no, they're not as good as they look out there. But they're really not. They're only good on those conditions.
And we have a mystery caller. Who's this?
Diana Cavan.
Diana, welcome to Bowling Beyond 200. You're on with Richie, Jack, Rex, and Bobby.
Now, you were talking about pros and bowling on certain conditions. Now, back in Long Beach, we had a couple pros that come and watch our pot games. And we'd invite them to come down and bowl our pot games while they were mocking us and trying to make fun of us. But they would never come down and bowl our pot games. They would say, if you want to bowl against me, you have to go on the tour. Well, that's because they only could hit tour conditions. They would never dream of bowling against us in our pot games.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So needless to say, a lot of us never wanted to go out on tour because, heck, you could make more money bowling high roller in the megabucks tournaments. And with those tournaments, you'd bring 2 or 3 balls. Who could afford 30 balls? When I took the bus to the showboat for the first couple of high rollers, that was a nightmare, bringing 3 double ball bags. And only bringing 6 balls to a tournament nowadays, what a joke. You need your own U-Haul for that.
Right. And that's, because the ball manufacturers, they won't downsize. Okay, so now, how do you sell the same amount of balls to less bowlers? That's what they have to do to keep the plants open and operating efficiency. They have to sell a certain number of bowling balls. When you have less league bowlers, sanctioned bowlers, you have to find a way to sell more balls to the same people. So now you come up with this, all these different lane conditions that you need all these different balls. And in turn, it's screwing up the game.
Now, we were talking about a transition, you said, from a league bowler to PBA. Now, isn't that what an amateur tournament would do? I mean, if we had a fair amateur tournaments out there.
Now, none of this would have happened had ABC stepped in and said, a 3-piece ball, that's it. No dense core balls. Once they started changing the cores, that opened up the whole Pandora's box for everyone to come out with all the different cores, and that changed everything. Up until that point, with a 3-piece ball, the playing field was rather level. It didn't matter pretty much what shell you had on the ball. You know, you could
Jim
put any
Coleman.
shell as long as it wasn't too abrasive with a three-piece ball. Everyone was pretty much in the same field, even the black U-dot. You know, what a great ball, but you know,
It wasn't the core.
everything
It's not the
changed.
core. It wasn't the core that changed it. It was the resin. It's when they went over the Excalibur came out. The Excalibur is what changed the game. I mean, let's be realistic. The core is
So
not.
that was a three-piece ball with a dense core.
Here's one thing I just want to mention. One thing, once again, with balls being so confusing, is I know the cover stocks play a huge part, and even as we get into the pearl stuff, they're putting things in the balls that even as a pearl, it's basically a dull ball because they've manipulated the surface. And I'm not
Now
saying
the
Bowler because they company.
now the reactive ball known as the Scout, that is a three-piece ball with the reactive shell. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you can't do some of the things with that ball that any of the dense core balls will do. So I don't care
Well, they go
what
wrong.
shell you put on a ball. If it's a three-piece ball, it's going to be a lot more limited, and the bowlers will be more on the same field.
Well, you can do a lot of drilling, so, you know.
I think the core is what changed everything, not necessarily the shell. Now,
Well, the core is, you know, definitely they shouldn't be in balance like that. I mean, can you imagine a golf ball that, you know, the core wobbles in a golf ball and it makes the ball curve? No. You know, core, you know, the ball should be balanced. Okay? I created a diamond core, which kind of is still perfectly balanced. Okay, but in a like a gyroscope or a top, you know, versus a round center, you know, but that's perfect balance, you know, and all these, you know, asymmetrical balls, you know, different densities, you know, to make the ball hook, it's just trying to help the weaker bowlers again, you know.
Well, that's what changed everything. Go out and throw a Scout and come back and tell me that it's anything like a dense core ball.
I
believe we have the owner of Boulder Bowl online with us, Diana.
I represent Boulder Bowl. I'm Diana Cavan.
And you've
I
been,
also
Well, Diana,
represent
what do you think?
the shirt company.
you've been listening into our conversation so far. What's your take on all this?
I just tuned in.
As a bowling proprietor, what do you believe would create more bowlers in your center?
In my center? I don't know. I do pretty much everything I can to keep the game fair, and you know, I don't put out a wall shot, so it's a tougher lane condition. So, you know, people that want bowling the way it used to be, then they come bowl in my center. They want a challenge, they bowl in my center.
Now, for those listening, Boulder Bowl is known as the most tough center in the Las Vegas area.
Right.
That's it. Old school, amazing center. Anyone not throwing a great ball, they're talking sour apples.
Right. Yep.
Anna, would you say that, you know, standardization of lane conditions, you know, to keep all the centers on the same playing field, you know, a good idea?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, you got to tighten it up some. It's ridiculous how many 300s are shot now.
And in your center, how many 300s have been shot?
We've had 14 300s since 1947.
Since 1947.
Oh,
And that's
We have a lot of out
that's
players.
tough. And what would you attribute that to?
You get what you hit.
Yeah, it makes you a better player on tour. That's what I told him.
Oh, yeah. You got to hit your target there, and you got to come out of the ball, right? You know what I mean? You throw it flat?
That's the Larry Charles shot.
That's right.
How many 800s have been bowled at your center? How many 800 series have been bowled at your center?
3
Four.
or 4.
4, Diana.
4. I know Jeff
4.
Jameson had one, and Joe Merrill has had 2 or 3.
So Joe Merrill had 4, and then Jeff Jameson 1.
Well, actually, it is kind of world famous for high scores because people who want a challenge come there.
Now, we saw your center on American Restoration. Did we not?
Pardon me?
Did we see your center on American Restoration on TV?
Yeah, they filmed it there.
And for those who are listening, that's Boulder Bowl in Boulder City, Nevada. Okay. And as a proprietor, what do you do to get league bowlers into your center? I mean, it's been a tough issue here, or in our area, which is Laughlin. You know where that's at.
Well, I only have 8 lanes, so, that helps as far as filling the house. But, yeah, we do have a waiting list of people that want to challenge themselves.
Is that because of the challenge itself?
Probably. Well, it's very clean, very well kept. It's retro looking, but it's very well kept and very clean.
Now you have.
Did you say there's a waiting list? Diana, did you say there's a waiting list for bowlers to bowl at your center?
Yes, there is.
No.
Yes, but Diana, don't mind me asking, do you want league bowlers or do you want open bowlers?
Both.
Both.
But I know that my bread and butter is also the league bowler, so there's a guarantee.
Well, that's a little different from what I've heard from other proprietors, that they'd rather have the $4 or $5 open play rather than the whatever they're charging league bowlers now. I don't remember what we're getting charged here. I'm sure if he hears this, he's gonna he'll come and slap me around at the bowling center.
No.
Okay.
No, I cater to league.
I know here it's almost up over $5 for the Friday night cosmic bowling, and I think it's $4.50 during the day if you're not a league bowler.
Oh, I'm $3 for open play and $2 for league bowlers to practice. So
now I want everyone to realize this is a bowling center that, if you're living in Las Vegas, you consider this out in the sticks. It's quite a ways for somebody in Las Vegas to drive to bowl league, and for her to have a waiting list of bowlers waiting to bowl, that tells me she's doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
She's not that.
How is your food?
Out of curiosity, how is your food there?
it's a snack bar food. Yeah. I don't have a restaurant.
Because a lot of the better bowling centers that I've seen have good food to go with it, so that's even more impressive.
Oh, uh-huh.
On your part, it's a good job.
Sounds like Bowler Bowl is a role model that the rest of the centers should try to follow if they're going to try to increase their bowlers.
Well, that's what we're saying. As you as a proprietor, and I'm some proprietors going to be listening, what would you say? How do they get more bowlers? I mean, some of these lanes at what? In Vegas, it's 67, 68 lanes. What is that? Gold Coast, 68 lanes. And you got what, half the house empty? Except for the big tournaments that come in, a couple times a year. Well, like on a 34-lane house, you usually probably have, 8 lanes, you said? And you have a waiting list, but these other places are closing down. Why is that?
I don't know. I guess.
Good service.
Good service, good promotion.
Well, that's important. Customer service definitely is important. Sometimes as a league bowler, you feel you're just giving your money and then you bowl and then you leave. No real appreciation for any money you're spending in there. Some of these places.
It sounds like she makes the bowlers come first.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bowling center that's run by.
And that's a big thing because
it's not a corporation that's run by a casino or a casino.
We have some desk people here locally, and I'm trying to get help for this, but they know anything about bowling. Not a thing.
Yeah, see, that's scary.
One of the other things I would say in our industry is that that I've seen throughout is that they hire just bowling people. They're afraid to go. We're kind of self-fulfilling and bringing people around, you know what I mean? And maybe that's because we haven't grown as well. I love the fact that you put out a hard shot. I think that we were talking about the league bowlers being better than they should be. I'm going to be doing one of my lessons coming up that quite literally I think probably 95% of the people have no idea where they put the ball down. So they really have no idea the total path of the ball, their total lane ball motion. When you think of a baseball, you look at that ball till you hit it. You look at the golf ball till you hit it. You look at the tennis ball. What's happened to us to where we look down the lane at different things rather than the most important part, where we put it down, so we can see that repeatability. Because when you do those things, you can score good, like at your place. Instead of, I say, these people get strikes, but it's almost like a bloop single. or you hit the post in hockey 4 times before it went in as a goal. You got the goal, but it wasn't really that good.
Right.
So how do we define what really is good?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that you don't necessarily have to watch your ball hit your mark. As a matter of fact, I don't ever see my ball hit my mark where I'm looking, because I'm looking down just about a foot over the foul line. Okay, but if you come out of the ball cleanly, if you get to the line in time and come out of the ball cleanly, you will hit your mark, okay? And so it's all about feel and balance, okay? So you don't necessarily have to watch your ball. You have to be in tune with the feel of your body walking to the line and your arm swing and how the weight of the ball feels on your hand and what comes off your hand. You know, so as long as the feel, you know, and the motion, you know, there's no, you know, jerkiness and everything feels the same, well, your ball will hit your mark time after time. So just because people put the second arrow every shot, hang up in the thumb, if they're a straight player, they could hang up in the thumb one shot and loft the ball 4 feet out on the lane and go over the second arrow, but the next time they could just lay it down smoothly, but because they're throwing it straight, it still hits the second arrow. But in reality, you were 2 feet, you know, from where the ball hit the lane, so you're not even accurate.
Spare shooting. You need spare shooting. You need to shoot your spares up over bowl. Yep.
Okay, so let's look at other sports. See, you guys think that you know where and why you do it, but when I do this lesson, I challenge y'all to watch my educational videos, because I do one on a 2-foot, 2-board area. And if you cross one corner of that 2-board, 2-foot area, so 2 inches over 2 feet, you're in essence a literal 60 inches from your target. Now, we have oil and friction that keeps us from getting that far away, but that's how far off we were from our target. So without knowing where we're put that ball straight down the line, we're using that ease of the friction. We're using the ease that we don't like without knowing exactly where we put it and why. And I'm just trying to get people to look at it differently. So as a golfer, you see how when they're putting, bowling's a lot like putting. They put that line on the ball. They get that line with the putter perfectly. They look over exactly that line, and they make sure it's exactly on that line, exactly. We don't do that as bowlers. We think we're in the area, but are we really that online? So that's my thing is we get a lot of bloop singles, and we go, way to go, I got a strike. When in reality, that wasn't really a great shot. So I like the tougher conditions because it makes you do the things to get that strike necessary.
Well, the thing about, let me interject here, a tougher condition means what? Just lower scores? You can have a tougher condition, or you can lower scoring and still have oil in the middle and dry to the right. But the USBC wants to like flatten out the pattern, take your scoring down.
Muted.
You know, you're not getting proper ball reaction, you know, or the heads are hooking, or the lanes are the U.S. Open shot. Conditions terrible.
You caught me in a contradictory statement, because you're very right that we can't. I don't like the flat stuff either. I like that we give options to our ball motion, to more oil in the middle, maybe a little drier outside. And
the bowling has always been defined, you know, at least from the righty standpoint. You know, when there was a track in the lane, so the track was dry, and you moved left, you had oil. So you had oil in the middle and dry to the right, basically, you know, into the track. So that's bowling. That's what everybody knows. You move left, the ball hooks less. You move right, the ball hooks more. So we need to standardize a lane condition, which I've done with the A game, B game, and C game lane conditions, where the outside 4 boards are bone dry. There's no oil on them.
Unmuted.
To the right or dry to the outside, and all the oil's in the middle, but yet the score, they score like a sport condition, but it's similar to like league bowling. So you just have to be more consistent, you know, with your release and everything, because the ball will overreact when it hits the dry.
I would
Now,
try-
isn't
I
this
totally Sorry, I totally love that. Sorry, I'm throwing. I totally love it though, because once again, if you know you're on a C, you know where you should score. If you're on a B, you know what you should score. It's realistic, and you know where you're at. What environment?
I say don't even tell them what the patterns are. Don't put out a lane condition. Keep everybody in the dark. You want to even it up. Let's see how good they really are. Who makes the adjustments? Give them 15 minutes of practice, and let's go. That's what I believe in.
But it shouldn't be the bowler against the lane condition. It should be me against you. So the lane condition shouldn't even come into play. It should just, be a good condition for everybody. Everybody could play their normal game. So now, it's just the mental toughness between the two bowlers. Who's the better bowler?
Well,
Now, once again, this comes down to who's.
I agree. It should be a bowler against bowler. The lane condition, it should be secondary. It should be my talent against your talent. And let's reset this for a minute. I know we've beaten this up quite a bit, and
I got a good question
go ahead.
coming up for you. So we've defined that amateurs in every sport do what they do, and then pros, they tend to get a tougher course. Golfers, they lengthen it. They do whatever they do.
That's just golf, though. Golf's the only sport that does that. Every other sport's standard. Basketball courts, football fields, tennis courts.
This is my question, though, because I guess I came from golfing. So what if we defined a different course for the professional bowlers? What if for a certain... Yeah, instead of why does the lane have to be exactly what it is? Why can't we add 20 feet? Why can't we take 3-4 boards out and now move that out of bounds?
Why?
Why can't we make it harder for them?
Why?
The reason I'm thinking is to define to the rest of the world why they are better, to make it different, because you don't really believe you can go out and beat Tiger Woods in golf, right?
No.
But many bowlers think they can beat Belmont.
Now, maybe.
Was that now maybe? Who was that?
So that's the big difference to me, though, is their appreciation of our pros.
But that's okay. But if they're pros, that they should be able to beat you on an easy condition.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You talk about let's not change the lanes. How about changing the pins? I know Robert Smith. I know Robert Smith has tried that.
I think that'd be interesting.
Was it the?
Hey, you don't want to change the shot to the pocket. You want to, change, how you knock them down.
That'd be cool if we could take a quarter inch or eighth inch off each pin. I bet that'd be pretty tough.
What Robert Smith was doing.
Right, the lumberjack pins.
Heavier pins.
All right, there's another way.
Another way.
But then we have to educate truly what this is so people get it. You know what I mean? Or once again, they'll go, "Oh, I can do that," even though they can't get a strike when my ball hits the pocket. It gets a strike.
Well, that's why we need a standard lane condition. So, the lanes need to be tighter. And so when you're bowling league, you can't hook the ball like a pro.
200 should be a realistic average. 200 should be the set score. There's never been a perfect game in candle pin or duck pin. I wonder why. 200 is about a realistic average for bowling. Back in the day, 200 was solid. Everybody around here, 220, 230. You could tighten it up that way by making the shot a little bit harder.
And why was the score so low back then? Is because there was less friction. The back ends, they had rubber balls. The balls deflected because there was oil carried out and the oil was long. But now the vacuum strippers, the back ends are bone dry for 20 feet.
I believe part of it was because we had these bowling.
Just oil 40 feet down flat.
Just stop stripping. Stop stripping.
Okay. You just said another thing that I guarantee you 90+% of the bowlers don't get, that the ball deflects. The ball hits the pin and deflects and goes. But they don't get that. So they think that if it hits the pocket, I should get a strike. And I always tell them, it's like a Volkswagen a sedan and a dump truck driving the same 5 miles an hour into a wall, you get the same reaction? Of course you don't. You know, the dump truck's going to go more through the wall.
Right, but the problem is the balls aren't deflecting anymore, because there's too much friction between the ball and the lane. They don't deflect. There's too much grip.
Right. No, I get that. I don't think that they even most people don't understand that. So we do, and these are awesome conversations, but I don't think the normal bowler truly understands what's really happening. That it's flex. And the reason I say that is I just wanted 5 years ago, I was the guy that knew nothing until I started inventing this stuff and went around and worked with all these people. And I'm shocked as a lifetime bowler how little I knew. And I was pretty good. You know, I had a 190 average when I was young, but I still.
The more that you know, do you like what you know now? Did all this involved, or would you like it simpler?
Oh, I love knowing about why. This is the most intriguingly difficult sport there is, and people don't get it. You know, I always try to compare this to ice cream. So you go to 33 flavor ice cream, Baskin Robbins, and you have all these extra condiments you can put on, and you have a million choices there of what's your favorite ice cream. Well, we've got all these balls, all these different styles, 40 different lanes, and different ways to approach that. We have a billion choices in bowling. What's your favorite ice cream? And so the more you understand about the balls, the lanes, the pins, and even yourself, what you do, it's really a fun game. But I don't think most people understand that when you change that little hand position or whatever, you're now driving your ball like a Porsche instead of a dragster. You know, that you make that ball move. The ball doesn't necessarily always do what it wants to do. You can make it do what it needs to do. So that to me is the fun part of this game, the education of really understanding what we're doing and why. It's changed. I just love watching bowling now, just to see how the ball deflects and where it goes and why and what the pins do. And
I think it's getting too complicated for people.
It is very complicated.
Yeah, that's not good to promote bowling. The more complicated you make things, the tougher it is for people to grasp a hold of.
Right, but it's also like fishing, so I'm going to go into another one.
And right there, I think we want to leave that as one of the last words, Rex. We're going to reset this. I appreciate everyone's input on all this. We've really opened up a lot of cans here. I want to give everyone a last word here. What we want to do is we've touched on a lot of stuff today, and kind of wanted to give everyone a last word. We'll start with Richie. Richie?
Well, I think, somebody has to, have a direction for the game of bowling, and, define the game. How is the playing surface, the environment defined? We have to define the game. Somebody has to make the decision that this is what we're going to do, because there's so many different, variables, and there's so many different ideas and thoughts from different people that nobody's ever going to agree upon it. So unless we appoint somebody to just make the choice and this is the direction we're going to go, we're just going to just keep talking about it, and the game's going to go nowhere.
I agree. And Jack, last word.
Well, I believe we need to get people bowling again. And they don't need to be discouraged thinking that they're going to need 5 or 6 bowling balls to even dream of competing. I think if you get rid of the dense core bowling ball, come back with a 3-piece, something that's going to hook a whole less amount, and one that you're going to be more accurate with, people are going to be forced to practice more. Now it's going to bring people in, it's going to make the scores more realistic. You're not going to have guys shooting almost 900 every couple of weeks or so. It'll bring back the 200 average that is attainable to anyone that works hard on their game and practices. Let's get more people in the bowling center and get the scores more realistic. I believe it's going to be with a 3-piece ball, getting rid of the dense core ball. It doesn't matter what shell is on, as long as it isn't too abrasive. but we need people practicing and coming into the center and realizing, hey, I can bowl just as good as that guy over there if I work hard enough.
Well said. Rex, a last word for you.
Yeah, I think really listening to everybody. We just need leaders that give us definition to our sport and to our vision of what we're actually all trying to accomplish. We've got a lot of great people that want to do it. I think we're just all kind of wandering, lost, and not all together on the same path. The other thing I want to say is, we always talk about the fun of bowling. To me, the fun is learning how to knock down more pins. It's not just going. And so we need to educate why and how to do that more, and more people just get more interested in doing it. Here's the last thing I'll say. Sorry for being so long-winded. Every person I've ever talked to, you ask them, hey, do you go bowling? And they'll, yeah, I went last year with my family, had a bunch of fun. I went with my friends 3 years ago. I had fun. They always have fun. Why are they not going more often? We just have to capture those people again.
Exactly. And Bobby, a last word for you?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, John, I just want to thank you for inviting me onto your show, and I want to thank everybody that came in and we had this discussion with. It is disturbing, the direction that bowling's going. There's a lot of things we can blame and everything, and I hope it gets turned around. And I want to thank Diana for chiming in too and saying howdy, and guys, come on to Bowler Bowl, and I know you guys are in my group, Independent Bowlers. We discuss this stuff all the time, so everybody's welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on. I get the last word since I'm the host. We have a long way to go with bowling, and I agree with everyone. To a certain point, there's some really good conversation here, and us as bowlers, we need to work together to find a solution. Whether it be a new governing body or just, like you say, getting bowlers out there. We need education and bowlers to bowl, so we have bowlers and we have bowling centers that aren't closing up every week, and we have more places to go, and let's have fun with it. It can be serious, and like I said, league bowling and can be a lot of drama, but let's forget the drama. Let's just go out and have a good time. Bowl. If you want to bowl competitively, bowl competitively. Let's get out there and get the people to bowl. I want to thank everyone for being on today. Definitely we'll have to do this again. Thank you, Richie from Lane 1 Bowling. You can go to buylane1.com. And Jack, thank you for being on. And Rex Byron it's Eileen'sBowlingBuddy.com. Yes, please check out their products. They do make some great training aids that I have prominently displayed in my house, and I use them every day, actually. And to Bobby Nelson, yes, I thank you for being on. We'll have to do this again. I'll talk to you again for some more input, if that'd be okay with you.
Oh, sure, yeah. Just let me know. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And to Diana, from the world famous Boulder Bowl. Please go out there and see them when you're in Vegas. Take the scenic tour instead of going into downtown. Go the other way.
And see if you can hit a 200 game.
All right, and see if you can actually score there. I'm going to come out myself and try that. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you again.